ตอบโจทย์วันนี้ท่านผู้ช่วยรัฐมนตรีว่าการกระทรวงการต่างประเทศสหรัฐคุณแดเนียล รัสเซลมาเยือนประเทศไทยนะคะเยือนไทยและเยือนพม่าค่ะก่อนที่จะกลับไปติดตามนำข้อมูลไปส่งให้ประธานาธิบดีบารักโอบามาก่อนที่ผู้นำสหรัฐจะมาเยือน4 ประเทศในเอเชียในช่วงปลายเดือนเมษายนนะคะวันนี้ดิฉันจะคุยกับคุณแดเนียล รัสเซลค่ะ Thank you very much Assistant Secretary for joining me. Yesterday you met with Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra. I'm just wondering whether Secretary Kerry asked you to deliver a letter to Prime Minister Yingluck expressing his concern over possible coup in Thailand.
I did in fact bring with me a letter from Secretary Kerry to Prime Minister Yingluck, but also a very similar letter to Kun Abhisit, the head of the Democrat Party. And it's a message from a friend. That is that we seek to help ensure the stability of Thailand, and we consider very precious the tradition of tolerance and democracy that has helped make Thailand so successful as an economy and so influential as a regional leader. That we very much hope that the political leadership will show patience, will show prudence, will show restraint, will show good judgment, will find a peaceful path to address the ongoing political crisis and work in a way that will protect the rights of the people, the democratic institutions, that will avoid violence, that will avoid non-constitutional or extrajudicial solutions. And through dialogue, through compromise, map out a path to reconciliation. The reason, of course, that I met yesterday, both with the government and the opposition, is because compromise requires both sides to cooperate. And it's very much our hope that that will happen.
Did you have to read out this same message to Prime Minister Yingluck and opposition leader Kun Abhisit Vechachiwa?
I brought the same message to both, and I pointed out to both our concern at the opportunity cost. What I mean by that is that Thailand stands to lose economically. Thailand stands to lose opportunities to help shape ASEAN and its unified market in 2015. Thailand stands to lose international investment. And beyond the economic, Thailand's wonderful image as a stable democracy, as a regional leader, will be tarnished if it isn't possible to find a peaceful path forward.
So in fact, there is no word of concerning of possible coup inside the letter as claimed by Prime Minister Surapong Towichakchaikun.
The United States and Secretary Kerry have made consistently clear that we oppose violence, that we would be deeply troubled by a coup or by any extra-constitutional actions. We believe that democracy is the precious prize of the people, that the people of Thailand have the right through democratic institutions, through elections, to choose their leaders, and that political leaders from all over the spectrum, from both sides, have a responsibility to work peacefully, constructively, to find ways to achieve compromise in order to maintain the democratic tradition. It is important to respect the rights of the majority, just as it is important to protect the interests and the rights of the minority.
What's the response you have got from Prime Minister Yingluck?
Well, I had a good substantive discussion, and I will report to Secretary Kerry that America's views and heartfelt recommendation as a friend of the Thai nation and as a friend of the Thai people, got a full hearing both from Prime Minister Yingluck and from the head of the opposition Democrat Party, Kun Abisit. I was very absorbed in both conversations. Both were very good and very sincere discussions. I think that I have an advantage, and the advantage is that I come representing President Obama and Secretary Kerry, two close and I hope trusted friends of Thailand. I believe that the interlocutors, the Thai leaders with whom I was able to speak yesterday, accept that America's message is a pro-Thai message. It's a pro-peace message, and it's a pro-economy message. Mm-hmm. To be very frank with you, the U.S. strategy of rebalancing to the Asia-Pacific, President Obama's strategic priority on Asia, is driven by our belief that economic growth in this region directly relates to prosperity for America as well. For Thailand, which is the second largest economy in ASEAN, a major contributor to the regional and the global economy, for Thailand to experience diminished growth rates, for Thailand to experience a drop in GDP growth, in employment, in exports, is a troubling trend, not only because it has a negative implication for the Thai people, but also it affects Thailand's trading partners like the United States.
After listening to both parties, the government and the opposition, how do you come of it after the meeting on the political situation in Thailand? Any hope in your mind?
I come away determined that the U.S., along with Thailand's other friends, should continue to show support for the healthy democratic tradition that is central to stability and central to growth in Thailand. I believe that there must be a path forward that allows the Thai people to have confidence in the institutions of democracy and a path forward that allows for elections that the Thai people will consider to be free, fair, and just.
If election cannot happen in Thailand, and there will be a situation that leads to appointment of neutral prime minister, will the U.S. accept this situation in Thailand?
Look, this political situation here is one that the Thai people have to solve. It is true that there is more to democracy than just elections, but it is also very true that elections are a critical part of democracy. What's important, in my opinion, is maintaining the rule of law, in maintaining the trust of the citizens, that their voices will be fairly heard, maintaining the trust of the citizens in the institutions of government that play such an important role in democracy. No one in Thailand and no one outside of Thailand, certainly in the United States, wants to see violence. Our heart goes out to those and the families of those who have been killed and injured already. This should not happen. No one wants to see extra constitutional or extrajudicial actions. An early and full restoration of Thai democracy should be a priority for political leaders on both sides.
You repeat the same message that Secretary Kerry said before, that election doesn't necessarily lead to democracy. But the line of Prime Minister Yingluck is she is the defender of democracy. That's why she is now caretaker Prime Minister. But how do you make sense of the other side of Thailand, of people power, of the protest on the street?
In a democracy, the voice of the people is important and is heard through their expression, through voting and through their representation. As I said, and as Secretary Kerry said, there's more to democracy than elections, but elections are an important, I would say an essential part of the democratic process. Now, right now in Thailand, you have a caretaker government, and you have had that for some time. We think, speaking as a friend of Thailand, rather than a caretaker, Thailand should be taking care of its interests. Thailand should be taking care of business. Thailand is a founding member of ASEAN, and as I said, the second largest economy. Thailand is, as a democracy, a model for others in the region. Thailand has a certain brand, a certain status as a mature, strong, and stable democracy. And to return that brand, to return Thailand to its rightful leadership role as a thriving and as a stable democracy is in the interest not only of the citizens of Thailand, but of the region and of the U.S. as well.
Are you biased in favor of the government?
My bias and my government's bias is in favor of the people and the nation of Thailand. We have such a deep history and such close bonds. The question of who governs Thailand is a question that only the Thai people can decide. We believe that the decision of the Thai people must be the product of a democratic process that is respected and accepted across the political spectrum. It is our hope that Thailand's political leaders will show the wisdom and the prudence to find a peaceful way to reconcile the differences and to do right by the interests of the citizens and the nation.
In addition to the meeting with Prime Minister Yingluck and Mr. Abhisit Vejjajiva, do you think you should meet PDRC leader, Mr. Suthep Thaek Suban, as well?
The U.S. government and the U.S. Embassy has its eyes and its ears open, listens carefully to the many voices who are heard, but fundamentally, our conviction is that the duly constituted political leadership, the stakeholders in Thailand must work together in a way that's responsive to the interests of the Thai voters and the interests of the Thai nation. So fundamentally, it's the political leaders who need to listen, and it's the citizens of Thailand who need to do the talking.
What's your stance when you hear that Kun Suthep Thaek Suban like to seek sovereign status, and that may change the situation in Thailand? Have you been informed by his position on this?
Well, I think it's not wise for me to comment on particular statements by particular actors. Instead, I would like to focus on the big picture message. Thai democracy, Thai prosperity, and Thai leadership, particularly in Southeast Asia, a region of phenomenal potential and importance to the United States and to others. These things are precious commodities that must be preserved and protected. The United States wishes well for Thailand. The United States benefits from Thailand's success. And every month that goes by where Thailand as a government is not in a position to show leadership, is not in a position to send ministers to international meetings, is not in a position to send a prime minister to ASEAN summits, or even to the nuclear security summit that President Obama attended a few weeks ago. Every month that goes by when Thailand is not functioning fully up to its capacity is a month that is wasted and a month that is disappointing to Thailand's people and its friends.
Do you think Thailand reached the point that we need an outsider from other countries or neutral figure internationally to come and talk and meet with different parties in Thailand?
Why would a proud nation like Thailand, with a historic tradition of democracy and an extraordinary culture of tolerance, turn to outsiders to solve its problems? I have every confidence that the solution to Thailand's current political challenges lie in Thailand, not outside it.
But so far you must have seen the action by Foreign Minister Kun Surapong Towichakchaikul that he sent letter to UN Secretary Ban Ki-moon to invite him to monitor the situation in Thailand, to observe the situation, and he tried to find information to foreign ambassadors to Thailand on the situation in Thailand. Do you think it's beyond limit of foreign minister to do so?
Without a doubt, Thailand's friends around the world are monitoring the situation. I think, like the United States, any of Thailand's friends that can be helpful gladly would be helpful. But I rest firm in my conviction that the citizens of Thailand have the right, have the ability, and have the wisdom to find a peaceful Thai solution acceptable to the citizens that serves the best interests of your nation.
What's the first step as the way out for Thailand?
Dialogue. Dialogue is always the first step.
To see Thailand in parallel with Ukraine, people must be wondering about the stance of the US toward Ukraine and Thailand, which is so different, because you seem to support people protest in Ukraine, but not in Thailand. Does it mean the US has many standards for different countries?
It is complicated and sometimes treacherous to stretch to make analogies between one set of circumstances in one place and those in another. The situation in Crimea in Ukraine is in many respects extremely different from the situation in Thailand, beginning with the existence of a neighbor, a large neighbor poised to annex, a neighbor interfering in sovereignty and the territorial integrity of the Ukraine, beginning with a government that exercised brutality and that directed lethal fire against its own people, rather than get wrapped up in the treacherous effort to make comparisons across continents. Let's focus on what the key principles are. So the principle at stake in Thailand is this: the voice of the people and the rights of the majority, as well as the rights of the minorities, must be respected through a democratic and a peaceful process that builds trust among the citizens in the democratic institutions, and that culminates in a government that is accepted, stable, and functional. Thailand's interest, the region's interest, and the world's interest are served by a democratic Thai government that can exercise the regional leadership that ASEAN and the international community need.
What do you make of the pressure by PDRC on the U.S. Embassy here and U.S. government on the situation in Thailand, because they try to voice their concern in front of the embassies many times? Clearly, they are concerned with the U.S. stance on Thailand. What do you make of this situation?
Well, demonstrating in front of the U.S. Embassy is a time-honored tradition the whole world wide. I'm a veteran of many, many demonstrations at many U.S. embassies, often on issues that have nothing to do with the United States. I think the good news is this, that there is a strong bilateral tradition of support and friendship for the U.S.-Thai alliance and U.S.-Thai relationship in the United States, as well as a strong bipartisan history of support for the alliance in Thailand also. I believe that representatives of all elements of Thai society appreciate that there is value for Thailand in the U.S.-Thai alliance, and it is my determination, as I know it is our outstanding ambassador to Thailand, Ambassador Kenny's determination, to keep that support at the highest possible level.
How will you report the situation in Thailand towards Secretary Kerry back home?
Objectively. I will describe what I saw, I will describe what I heard, but I will reaffirm to Secretary Kerry and to the White House my conviction that an early restoration of full democratic operations in Thailand through peaceful means remains a priority and very much in U.S. interest.
Rebalancing toward Asia Pacific. Do you think the situation of Ukraine, Russia's annexation of Crimea will distract this policy in Asia Pacific?
It is very true that there are many global challenges competing for the attention of top U.S. leaders. That's why it's so important that, notwithstanding the competing events in the world, Secretary of Defense Hagel hosted a meeting of the 10 defense ministers from ASEAN in Honolulu earlier this week. That's why it's so important that Secretary Kerry, even in his first year in office, has visited Asia 5 times already and is coming back several more times in the course of 2014. That's why it's so important that President Obama, against the demands of his office and in an election year, a midterm election year in the United States, in 2 weeks will be traveling not only to Japan and to Korea, our 2 treaty allies in Northeast Asia, but going on there to visit Malaysia and to visit the Philippines. Plus, he's planning to return to Myanmar in November to attend the East Asia Summit, and to China for APEC, and to Australia for the G20. The most precious commodity in Washington, D.C. is the time of the president and the time of the cabinet officials. And the fact they are spending so much time in Asia is proof they believe that Asia is important and the rebalance continues.
Right now we see so-called China threat in the region. So it must be the right timing for the president to come and show you a strong ally to a certain number of countries in this region?
Well, we show our allies that we are committed to their defense and to maintain a strong security and economic presence in Asia. And we show China that we are committed to a constructive relationship that provides benefits to both countries and to the region through practical cooperation between the U.S. and China. This is not an either-or proposition. We believe strongly that it's essential that the United States have strong relations with our allies and democratic partners, as well as good relations with China. And we are working very hard to build a model of relationship with China that is founded on the principle of rule of law. We want China to be as respectful of the rights of its neighbors and of smaller countries as we are.
Is the model has to be very special because you must be regarding China as main competitor as well in the region?
Look, the United States competes not only with China, but with Japan, with Korea, with Thailand, with Indonesia. We compete, but we compete on an even playing field of the free market. There is such a thing as healthy competition that drives our economies, that is the fuel for innovation and for entrepreneurship. Competition should be and can be a healthy thing. The competition that we want to avoid is the destructive rivalry, the zero-sum approach that seeks to undermine the other. And the United States has no interest and no intention of having that kind of negative rivalry with China.
Assistant Secretary Russell, thank you very much for joining me. และทั้งหมดก็คือเสียงสะท้อนนะคะมุมมองจากท่านผู้ช่วยรัฐมนตรีว่าการกระทรวงการต่างประเทศสหรัฐต่อการเมืองสถานการณ์ที่กำลังเกิดขึ้นในภูมิภาคและมุมมองของสหรัฐต่อการเมืองไทยค่ะและทั้งหมดคือตอบโจทย์และที่นี่ไทย PBS สำหรับคืนนี้ค่ะดิฉันณัฐฐา โกมลวาทินสวัสดีค่ะ